that was one of the keys to the case. Obviously, human intelligence using undercover officers and information that we receive from suspects is probably the best way to go. I can't get into all the specifics of the undercover officer, but obviously he's a person that, doing great undercover work, built up the trust of the Sinaloan cartel and their associates, and he was able to do both buy narcotics and then sell narcotics, because it's interesting the way the cartel works is sometimes they actually want the narcotics in California, and that's one of the things that this undercover officer was able to do. So he was actually able to do it twofold, again, buy and sell.
How dangerous was that for him? It sounds pretty scary to me.
Anytime you're working as an undercover officer, it's dangerous, absolutely. He always goes, and we always conduct our operations knowing that they may be armed. We take all the precautions, but you know, that's one of the risks when you're doing narcotic work and undercover work, is that you're dealing with the cartel. You can see what's happening in Mexico. Is you know, if they find out you're either an informant or an undercover officer, they do brutal things like that.
With the corruption in Mexico, how difficult is to collaborate with the law enforcement over there? And do you expect any kind of retaliation? Because
I think I'll let him answer that. Yeah, you mentioned real problems, and I do believe the current president, the current attorney general, are very supportive of more cooperation. I've met with the Mexican federal attorney general as well as the state attorney general, who I'll be meeting with in just a few minutes. There is a commitment, but is the cooperation enough? Is there mutual trust at the level needed to fully combat the cartel? No, but that's certainly our goal.
What are you going to try and do then? Try and send the message you need more cooperation, or what's your message to the attorney general and federals in Baja?
That we will cooperate every bit as much as he can, but given the laws of Mexico, you have to have the federal attorney general as well as the state attorney general. So it's a lot of people. There's not just one general here and one army. There's dozens of different departments on both sides of the border, and it takes a lot of collaboration. And right here in Imperial County, there is that tight focus and collaboration. If we could extend that below the border, which I think will be rather difficult.
Are you getting
a lot more progress?
You said you're not getting enough cooperation from Baja, right?
We're getting more cooperation is the way I'd like to put it.
Not enough, though.
No, not enough.
You know, one of the things when you talk about the cooperation, we're almost getting to the point where after we finish our investigations or we have one, we're to the point where I think it is just best for us to let the Mexicans know, hey, these are the targets. These are the people that we've been looking for, or these are the people that we've been investigating. There they are. Now, you know, we can't do anything to them over there unless they come over here. So maybe the Mexicans will take the initiative and conduct their own investigations and get and make some arrests over there. But we're to the point to where you know, they know the names of the people that we have on the board, and some of them are over there. So now it's up to them to try to help us bring these people to justice. But we just the issue of you brought up, you know, this is an issue of trust. We want to get to the point where we can trust our partners over there, people that are trying to do the same thing that we're doing over here. And it's been very, very difficult.
Yes, is now the Sinaloa cartel in charge of the Mexicali market, leaving just the General Felix organization only in Tijuana or the coast of Baja California?
You know, one of the problems that the General Felix organization, drug trafficking organization, has encountered, because some of the arrests that they've made of the high-level individuals has allowed what they call the Federation, Sinaloa Cartel, and all the other ones to get together and kind of bully their way into it. And I still think that I believe that when we do something like this over here, I think it creates problems for the cartels, and I think that within themselves they don't trust even themselves, and I think that's going to be an escalation of violence along the border. And I think that you're going to see violence increasing along the border, along the Mexican side, I mean the Mexicali side, as opposed to what we've been seeing in Tijuana. But I think that what we've done is really made a crippling blow to them, and I mean, not crippling, but, you know, really a good body shot, like the Attorney General said. You know, we knocked the air out of them, and we just need to keep on going.
The meeting coming up for the Attorney General with the officials from Mexico, what kinds of things are you going to be discussing?
Just what we're discussing this morning. Recently, the federal Attorney General came to this country, and I met with him there, and he was very anxious that my office and the office of the State Attorney General of Baja work together, and so that's what I'm going to explore. We've signed a memorandum of understanding and agreement between my office and that of the Baja Attorney General, and now it's a matter of really filling in the details and developing the trust and the collaborative practices. That's what we're aiming at.
Can you talk about the technology used in the investigation, undercover surveillance cameras that were used? What sorts of
I
things?
think we don't want to talk about the technology. Unless you want to say, I'd rather have.
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Go ahead, ask him.
Oh, just about technology that was used in the investigation, undercover surveillance cameras, and how many you had?
There's some of the technology we can't really get into because we don't want, obviously, the cartel to know, the Sinaloa cartel to know exactly how we operate. We don't want to give those secrets. But some of the basic stuff, yeah, is doing surveillance. Obviously, we have a lot of video when we're dealing with them over here when we're buying or selling or we're conducting meetings. So, do we need more surveillance equipment? Yeah, absolutely. But can we work with what we've got right now? Yeah, and we need more. And again, like they explained, this is continuing. So we're hopeful to get some more of this equipment and technologies that we use in these investigations.
How did you determine that this was a distribution ring associated with the Sinaloa cartel? Did they overhear conversations with the bosses in Sinaloa? How did that work out?
We knew because when our undercover officer met with these people, they themselves, don't have a problem of saying who they associate with, and they put out names, and it's very clear to us that it was a Sinaloa cartel, the new federation, the Chapo Guzman, Beltran de Leyva, and Ismael Zambada group. They're working together here in Mexico-Calexico border, so we knew it was that organization, and it was very clear to us.
Is your officer, is he allowed to cross the border and go down into Mexico, or no, he's not allowed to do that? Your undercover guy.
Well, I don't know if that's something that they want to reveal. Anything that could possibly reveal the identity of the undercover officer, we can't really talk about his techniques too much because we don't want anything to endanger him in his future work.
Is that something he's allowed to do across the border?
Again, there are policies about that, but I don't think we want them to necessarily be in the media because this is something that might tend to reveal who he is.
Let me make it real clear. Our undercover officers do not operate in Mexico, do not conduct investigations in Mexico. I don't want anybody leaving this room to come up with that idea.
We always hear about border violence in Tijuana and the problems there with drug trafficking. We hear about it in El Paso. I haven't heard a lot about this particular area. Maybe that's because I'm from LA and I don't get over here that often. But how big of a problem is this in this particular area? That could be a question for anyone.
Well, from what everyone's saying, there's a lot of dope coming across the border. And there's only a certain amount of interdiction or intervention on the part of police authorities. That's the way it is. So if anyone else wants to comment on the connection between, one of the paradoxes is the more you intervene and the more you disrupt the cartel, the more they start fighting among themselves and the more people get killed. So that's a dilemma. If you do nothing, it'll be very peaceful, but they'll take over and grow like a cancer. If you fight them, they get more violent. So that's the paradox of protecting our citizens through fighting this cartel.